What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's good, everybody? How are y'all doing? I said I wanted to do some more Allen Iverson content to put some respect on AI's name because he's criminally underrated. When people have just, I'm not saying he's in the GOAT discussion, but people will normally say pound for pound, he might be the greatest player that ever played, given his height. All right, on a good day, Allen Iverson was 6'1", but I think he's actually listed as 6'0", 6 foot even. But I got Iverson. I'd have to really think about it, but somewhere in the top 15 for me, or maybe top 20. I'd have to actually sit down and do a list for spots 11 through 20, which I haven't really thought that hard on, but I'd have to see. Top 15 or top 20 for me. And had he had a couple championships, he could have been in my top 10 without a doubt. But sometimes, some players, they don't meet the roster. Sometimes they just don't have the help that other people have. And sometimes it's on them, sometimes it's on the GM. It's a nuanced conversation, but a lot of things have to go right. A lot of things play into that. Anywho, this documentary, Allen Iverson, The Answer, original career documentary, I haven't watched it, but I assume it's going to cover a lot of things. So I just wanted to talk about a few things about Allen Iverson. Now, I will say that I've put out one video about Allen Iverson early in the career of this channel, and I'll put a link to that video on this one if you want to check it out. It was just me talking about how Allen Iverson is one of the greats and should be recognized for it. But you can also check out the Allen Iverson playlist as I continue to put more AI content out there. All right. So just to get it popping real quick, ain't going to spend too much longer on the opening remarks. But yeah, 6 foot even. AI was drafted in '96 with the first overall pick. Of course, we all know selected by the Philadelphia 76ers. Played from '96 to 2011. Pretty much normally played shooting guard, but on rare occasions, not going to say rare occasions, but point guard / shooting guard, because, and then him and, if I remember correctly, him and Eric Snow would just kind of transition to whatever they needed between the two positions. All right. So with the Sixers, he played from '96 to '06. Then with the Denver Nuggets, he played with Carmelo Anthony from '06 to '08. Then he went to the Detroit Pistons '08 to '09, Memphis Grizzlies in '09, went back to the 76ers from '09 to 2010, and then played a year overseas, I believe. All right. He was a one-time most valuable player, 11-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 3-time first team, 3-time second team, All-NBA third team once, Rookie of the Year, All-Rookie first team, 4-time scoring champion, 3-time steals leader, and made it to the 75th anniversary team. On his career, AI averaged 26.7 points per game for 24,368 points, 3.7 rebounds for 3,394 rebounds total, and 6.2 assists for 5,624 assists. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Iverson was actually on pace for averaging almost 30 points per game, or at 30 points per game, till all those trades started happening. He started taking on different roles, and his athleticism, not that his game was predicated on all of athleticism, but not having his speed more than anything kind of hampered him a little bit, which affected his skills to a degree. So his numbers kind of waned off there. But during Allen Iverson's prime, the dude was an absolute monster, man, absolute beast. All right, just real quick, Allen Iverson got like a bad stigma attached to him as a ball hog and never find teammates, just a shot chucker, Listen, man, if you watch Allen Iverson play, you would know that I would have never called AI a ball hog, ever. I mean, the guy averaged 6 assists on his career until he got to Denver. His tenure in Philadelphia, during even its peak years, they were a defensive team. Offensively, that team was handicapped, especially without Allen Iverson if he wasn't playing. Allen Iverson did so much shouldering for that team offensively. If Allen Iverson had any kind of mid-range shooters or a super reliable pick and pop, pick and roll player, Allen Iverson would have averaged 8 assists per game. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people miss some nice dimes by AI, man. Just saying. And then I think, I think he might have averaged 44. I don't have the numbers up, but on his career, he might have averaged under 45% field goal percentage. I'm pretty sure. But when you take into consideration the type of defense this guy had to deal with, and during his era in the 90s into the 2000s, how much more physical it was at his stature with more bigs. And this guy wasn't just shooting threes. This guy was going to the paint, getting knocked down, getting back up, game after game after game, and converting on a lot of these. At his size, his field goal percentage is quite good when I take that in consideration. Allen Iverson had amazing ball handling skills. We all know he's credited for the crossover, but man, let me tell you, without the crossover, Allen Iverson could create space like not many people ever could. Dude had a lot of people talk about the step back. Allen Iverson had an amazing sidestep, man. He'd come off some screens, catch the ball, one dribble, large sidestep, open shot. Dribble, crossover, sidestep, create space. Or his hezzy and his pullback were the best I've ever seen. A lot of times people think he'd be going full head of steam, left, right, but he'll switch it up. He'll go on a dime, stop, ball on a string, bring it back into a small step back, or to a dribble sidestep, or to a hezzy, make him jump, or go to the left. The dude really had the ball on a string, y'all. I'm telling you. Ball handling, exceptional. Creating space all kinds of ways, exceptional. Hop step, he was amazing at the hop step too. The bunny hop, yeah. Going into the paint especially, yeah. And if you see Allen Iverson shoot, we see a lot of people write rotation on the ball. Allen Iverson had a little bit of snap, but a lot of thrust. So if you see when he releases the ball, you'll see a lot of this with a small flick of the wrist, but more of a propulsion, push. And if you look at the rotation on Allen Iverson's shots on the ball, you'll see he just has this floating slow rotation because it doesn't put a whole lot of snap in it, but a thrust. I'm telling you. But that's all I gotta say about it. I'll let the documentary talk about the rest. Let's get into it.
Iverson was the defining player of his era, whether you liked it or not.
A 6-footer. Nice out if he's that big.
An icon of basketball.
Iverson for the record. Yes, and there it is.
Pound for pound, inch for inch, Allen Iverson was the greatest scorer in NBA history.
A walking billboard of tattoos, braids, fixed scowl, and defiant attitude.
Iverson, what a move.
A 4-time league scoring champion. One of the most culturally impactful athletes.
He had that kind of impact on.
One more thing. Another thing that made Allen Iverson's ball handling so special is that all the dribbling he was doing and between the leg stuff, behind the back, not so much behind the back, between the leg, he was doing it during the time where the players' shorts were baggier, especially Allen Iverson's, because for him, it was about the culture more than anything. If you look how baggy his shorts are, his ability to put the ball between his legs without the shorts disrupting the trajectory of the ball was absolutely amazing. The players these days, they wear their shorts tighter and they wear their shorts shorter, but he was doing it with the baggy shorts, the big baggy shorts, still getting that ball where it needed to go. Incredible. All right.
On a generation of kids.
Watch how quick this young man is.
A culture was not just changed, but defined by him.
We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
People know how he is, and he'll call them out.
Well, this guy is just a super athlete.
He'll say how he feels.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
is.
A 6-footer. And I doubt if he's that big.
Like him being like one of the smaller players.
Allen Iverson.
What a move!
Crossover.
The answer.
Whew.
Iverson grew up in Newport News, Virginia.
Yep.
A mix of low to moderate income homes and some of the city's older business streets, the East End has more than its share of problems. Police patrolling the area deal with street crime of all sorts.
Iverson was surrounded by pitfalls that could derail a promising future.
My dad was in and out of jail most of my life.
I was a young kid in the Newport News area at the time Iverson was in high school. Everyone had heard of this super freak who was both the best basketball and football player in the country.
Bethel Bruins versus the Hampton Crabbers. Allen Iverson at quarterback. Iverson fakes, rolls, looks downfield. He can run with the football.
I always believed in myself. You know, my mom always told me I could be anything that I wanted to be, and I truly believed it.
In his junior year of high school, Allen won the state championship and was named Virginia Player of the Year.
A sensational athlete, he was AP High School Player of the Year in both football and basketball. He captured state titles in each sport.
AI making plays as a high school athlete at quarterback and defensive back. Just absolutely ridiculous what he was able to do.
When Iverson was 17, he and a group of friends went bowling.
The allegation is that there was, the N-word said, that there was a racial epithet, which ignited a melee.
A massive brawl broke out, with some 30 people involved.
So remember that he had been accused of throwing a chair at someone in their bowling alley. We never know for sure if he did it, but that's what he'd been accused of.
There was supposedly a racial brawl, but only 4 black youths, 2 of them minors with no records, including Allen, were arrested.
Had he not been basically a star at Bethel High, had he not been as well known as he is, then he may not have been identified by anyone. He may have been like the other 20 people who were involved that were not charged.
Of everyone, only Iverson and his 3 friends were arrested and charged. They even waited 9 months to bring charges, so Iverson would turn 18 and could be tried as an adult.
Court sentences you to serve a term of 5 years.
Iverson was sentenced to 5 years in prison.
It is one of the all-time railroadings of an athlete that our judicial system has given.
Tonight we have the story of what has happened to a young man who was headed for $1 million future, but now he's in jail.
There are entire documentaries about this, so I will on. After a tremendous national outpouring of support for Iverson, the governor of Virginia stepped in and pardoned Allen and his 3 friends. With his legal troubles behind him, Iverson was free to resume his basketball career. But because of his bad rep, only one school would take him: Georgetown.
And I feel like John Thompson saved my life.
Yeah.
You know, because he gave me another opportunity when everybody stopped recruiting me. I was recruited by everybody in the country in both sports. And once that incident happened, you know, everybody went away.
When I first saw him, he looked too small, too skinny. And I said, this little boy can't be what I thought he was. But I'm going to tell you something, he was more.
The experience of watching Allen Iverson, it was an event. But every game there was a moment. Once a game, he would do something that you'd never seen before.
Oh, what a big-time move! Super scintillating, sensational!
And he was Defensive Player of the Year 2 times in the Big East.
Another steal by Iverson. Straight up with it again off the ground.
At Georgetown, his game quickly reminded the nation that he was a surefire NBA talent.
The Big East in scoring and steals. Not what they wanted to do. 13 Huskies. Oh, nobody's still. Iverson. Oh, up and away, Jam City.
There was
People forget Iverson could dunk,
and it
man.
was actually enhanced by the fact that he had been incarcerated, because nobody had seen him. We didn't see him in McDonald's All-American Game on ESPN. And so you heard about him before you got to see him.
Rocking the 11s.
That's a three-pointer. Say good night.
The adjustment in midair to
see that little spurt.
look at the feet.
Yeah, I mean, just a spurt. I mean, he can dance with the dribble.
Iverson.
Whole squad got the 11s on.
Allen Iverson joining
Danya Abrams and Dana Barrows with 38-point outing tonight.
When you look at Georgetown, they're led by Allen Iverson, and he not only is their leader in scoring, he also is their leader in their pressure defense.
Sellis blocked by Iverson, and Iverson on the out. Oh, you ain't gonna catch him, baby! Hello! Hello, New York! This is Montana!
The magic of a 6-foot, 160-pound player thriving in the land of giants attracted fans from all over.
His speed was such an amazing asset.
His scoring and off-the-charts speed was must-see TV.
How can someone so small fly so high?
Iverson left school early to go pro, joining perhaps the greatest draft class ever.
We're going to start with 96, AIU, the #1 pick. Kobe, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Jermaine O'Neal, Stephon Marbury.
I don't remember there being any argument about who was going #1 that year. I mean, everybody knew it was going to be Allen.
With the first pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Allen Iverson from Georgetown University.
Could you imagine if Philadelphia picked Kobe, the hometown kid, #1? What would happen? Wow.
To the surprise of no one, the 76ers selected Allen Iverson #1 overall.
Allen Iverson, #1 pick in the 1996 NBA draft.
Signing it down.
At guard, at 6 feet from Georgetown, #3, Allen Iverson.
This is the Core State Center, where tonight, the largest crowd ever to see a basketball game. Iverson, the #1 pick last June. Raw lightning. Wait till you see him play.
His debut brought out a raucous crowd.
Iverson, this is going to be something with Stackhouse.
What was it like at the beginning, trying to build the beginning of your career?
He's flat for two. Oh my.
I was a point guard, but I always been a killer.
Iverson all the way, yes.
So I was a scorer.
Allen Iverson, a stunning NBA debut with 30 points.
Not being traditional.
Iverson for three, yes! Well, you could see it as soon as it left his hand. Tonight, the first night of a revolution, as Allen's mother, as all of us here are enjoying his terrific NBA debut. Indeed, the revolution is underway.
30 points in his first game.
But Iverson is a guy, I think, as his decision-making skills improve, he's going to be a very solid player in this league for a long time.
He electrified the Philadelphia sports scene.
For three, whoa! All cotton for Iverson.
So it probably didn't even register and bother me like it would anybody else. That was the #1 pick. Man, I'm in the NBA. I just got out of jail.
Philadelphia with 4-on-1 numbers.
You know what I mean? I'm making millions of dollars. Like, I'm taking care of my family.
Iverson with a cutesy play. The young man's making things happen right now, and you see he plays with emotion. He's got 24.
He's become one of the NBA's elite players while earning respect around the league.
I mean, talk about rooting for the little guy. Everything about Allen Iverson
is the little guy.
Things that I admire about sports.
With every spectacular crossover, more and more fans tuned in to watch the 76ers.
And then Iverson with another crossover dribble that'll just break your ankles even watching.
Iverson breaks the ankles of Isley and got two. 5 minutes gone in the fourth.
There's that sidestep I was telling you about.
The Philadelphia 76ers have taken a 1-point lead.
Rookie Iverson brought a heightened brand of playground brilliance to the league.
He was called the Playground Rookie of the Year by Charles Barkley. He was criticized around the league for putting himself before the team, and he was accused of not respecting his elders around the league.
Should win Rookie of the Year. A lot of it based on the excitement that he generates.
Against the Bulls, Iverson kicked off a record streak of 40-point games for a rookie.
Stayed away from the three-point stretch.
He was crossing up everybody on the Bulls.
There are a couple that come along in lifetime, and we just saw it.
Iverson goes between them, off the glass, and good. Again, Philadelphia can take the lead here.
He was doing everybody on
Iverson
the Bulls.
for three. 28. Iverson, top of the circle. Hits that tough jumper. Iverson for three.
Yeah, another one.
44 for Allen Iverson. 40 or more in each of his last two.
No one player can guard him one-on-one. Now look at the points. 23 points. He's not only first in point guards, he's in the top 5 in the league.
He was named Rookie of the Month.
And moments ago, he was honored as the Schick NBA Rookie of the Month.
I feel every matchup is in my favor. I'm always going to look at it like that.
Just ultra quick as well.
Iverson among the NBA leaders in steals, and there it is.
It's a heck of a run by the 76ers right now.
Allen Iverson quick as a wink, averaging 39 in his last three. Answer with three. He is fouled, looking for the 4-point play.
He had incredible ball handling skills, tremendously athletic.
Good rotation on the basketball. High floater. Nothing but net and round.
Allen Iverson having his way tonight, looking for his third straight game of 40 or more. And there it is, 3 straight of 40 or more.
The streak continued.
Allen Iverson, a wonderful year, takes it to the hoop.
Kind of the big man was dominating. We're talking about a player, they say 6 feet, around 5'11", 160 pounds.
A 6-footer going against giants in the paint.
Allen Iverson now with 23.
I'm 5'11". I'm eye to eye with Allen Iverson.
Iverson is just this wisp that you can't catch up to.
Iverson to steal, lined up by Curry, forget it. Oh! Iverson for three, yes! Allen, that's for three, yes! Allen Iverson with 39. Iverson for the record, yes, and there it is! Allen Iverson, 4 straight with 40 or more, breaking the Wilt Chamberlain standard that had stood for 37 years. Allen Iverson with 39 in the second half and 50 for the night.
Breaking the record held by Wilt Chamberlain.
4 straight with 40 or more, breaking a rookie record, capping it with 50 in dramatic fashion on Saturday night.
You're looking at Allen Iverson, the Philadelphia 76ers rookie who has been nothing short of spectacular the last 4 games.
He's put up some big numbers and probably should get Rookie of the Year.
And the Bullets just let him shoot away, and he's got it. Allen Iverson becomes the first rookie in NBA history to score 40 or more points in 5 consecutive games.
Iverson may have clinched the award with his streak of scoring 40 or more points in 5 straight games earlier this month, the longest such streak by a rookie in league history.
5 straight games with 40-plus points.
7.5 assists.
Third quarter.
Ooh, I told you, man. Ball on the screen. Step back behind the back.
The guy that taught me the crossover was a walk-on at Georgetown.
Okay.
And he never, never played, never got in the game, but he the one that, taught me to move because he used to hit me with it at practice all the time. And my ego, I just put it to the side and said, look, man, you got to teach me that. And I used to always remember telling my family and my friends, if I got the opportunity, that I was going to try my move against the best player that I've ever seen play the game. But I always could hear that voice in my head when Phil Jackson said Michael.
Phil Jackson famously shouted for MJ to take Iverson.
And I was like, okay, here go the moment, and I'm not going to be scared of it.
Took him for the bite. Full crossover. Get out of here, boy.
Iverson guarded by Pippen now. Great move by Iverson.
Yo, put some respect on Iverson's name, man.
Iverson for 3 from the left wing.
If you want to support this channel, please consider joining my YouTube channel membership. It really helps. Thank you. Now, enjoy this MJ highlight.
Coach is right there down the floor. Nice pass to MJ. Goes between him with a left hand. Move by Mike.
He is Allen Iverson, and he is the 1997 NBA Rookie of the Year, which comes as no surprise to Iverson, who called it my award 3 weeks ago.
To present our rookie, Allen Iverson, with the Schick NBA Rookie of the Year award. Yeah!
In his second year, Iverson's impact really took off.
And then came this representative of the hip-hop generation, a walking billboard of tattoos, braids, fixed scowl, and defiant attitude.
Tattoos. They did Iverson so wrong with the whole hip-hop generation bullshit. It was a different era back then.
The braids, he wore tall tees, he was sagging. The way he spoke, it was like I knew his type, and it reminded me of a dude that was from what I was from.
The response that I've gotten from kids.
Okay.
You know, I mean, because
there was a big difference from what Iverson was just the culture, as opposed to John Morant out here waving guns around.
I used to be a sneaker fanatic, man, and finally see little kids wearing my sneaker.
Which, not illegal in his state, but as a representative of the NBA and a product of the NBA, that ain't the look they looking for. That's not the hero, that's not the role model the parents want for their kids, watching their favorite player wave the burner around. And the NBA doesn't want that either.
Look up to me. They don't care about what these adults care about. What is Allen doing with his posse and blah, blah, blah. All they care about is Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson they see.
Allen Iverson became a symbol of those on the outside.
He comes into the league, and it's being covered by mostly older white people, right? And they're kind of like, what is this?
Kobe Bryant from Lower Marion, Pennsylvania High School. Jack House out above the three, goes inside of it, brings the ball to Iverson, he drives the base, that's just a blur. Underneath, reverse layup is good. A 6-footer. And I doubt if he's that big. Iverson gets the screen by Montross, comes around it, drives by Campbell, underneath, reverse layup. Woo! Was that a magnificent play by the little guy, giving his club a 7-point lead.
And they ran right into Will Smith and his soon.
And people want to look at me some type of way when I say Allen Iverson's one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen.
To be bride, Jada Pinkett. Jada's telling everybody that I'm all right. Will Smith is telling everybody, hey, you coming over here like that.
Oh, hell of a pass, boy.
So you're credited, obviously, as you should be, as someone who bridged the gap between culture and sports.
The 76ers rewarded Iverson's game with a max contract worth over $70 million.
In the top 5 in 3 categories, having a wonderful year. He would be an all-star if there was a game this season.
I always liked AI. Like he had the style that appealed to a kid like me. Like everybody in my neighborhood loved AI.
He brought style to the game of basketball. He brought flair. He brought, the tattoos. He brought the braids.
There was real resentment toward him. You could feel it in some of the pieces you read back then.
It was the culture war.
Crossover from Iverson. Ron Oohs and Ahs hit one from the line.
Hip-hop is still on the outside at that time.
The NBA's leading scorer and some would say most dynamic player is in the house tonight, Allen Iverson.
Take a look at what he's done. Leads the league. Pretty decent field goal percentage.
But back then, hip-hop was still on the outside looking in. And if you're associated with hip-hop, that makes you...
Hold on. For all those people that are so into analytics but can't understand how the era affects analytics, let's rewind. I'm gonna pause.
Some would say most dynamic player is in the house tonight, Allen Iverson.
Take a look at what he's done. Leads the league. Pretty decent field goal percentage.
Right there. Pretty decent field goal percentage. Now, in today's era, if somebody shot 41.7% from the field, they would get crucified. And I keep telling people this. That is not a bad, especially considering Iverson's size, his offensive load, and the era. Like I said, I can live with 41.7% from the field from Allen Iverson. And shooting guards, or guards in general, most of them shot somewhere between 40 to 45%. Most of them. Ray Allen wasn't shooting over 45% from the field. I'm not saying during this year per se, but generally. People would be surprised. Kobe Bryant gets deemed inefficient. Kobe Bryant shot a better field goal percentage than Ray Allen. Kobe was above league average at his position. The only people that were shooting 50% and up were centers and power forwards back then. People kill me with that inefficient nonsense.
But back then, hip-hop was still on the outside looking in. And if you're associated with hip-hop, that makes you an outsider.
That's unbelievable. Allen Iverson.
In his third season, Iverson captured the scoring title.
Iverson quickly down the other end. Allen Iverson with the finger on.
The few, I'm still on this field goal percentage thing. You know, there's been a few players in history that really, and that's just a credit to how amazing they are. Like Jordan, during his career with the Bulls, shot 50% from the field at a shooting guard. It's incredible. Larry Bird was like what? Played small forward, but still had wing skills, shooting guard skills, point guard skills. Bird was like what on his career? 48, 49. Come on, man. And in fact, most years, Kobe shot better than Ray Allen from field goal percentage. Not three, field goal percentage. Shot better than Tracy McGrady most years. Most of his contemporaries he shot better than. But they don't get deemed inefficient.
4 on the shot clock. There's the steal from Iverson.
His talent was so immense,
Shout out to
often
Iverson.
bled beyond the structure of the offense. This was often labeled street ball. Call it what you will, but with the ball in his hand, no one could stay in front of him.
Iverson, it'll count, and a foul. Iverson right back to work.
Ooh.
Gets 2 more.
Body control mid-air.
The reverse by Allen Iverson. What a play by Allen Iverson as he wrapped it around the rim and twirled it home. Allen Iverson led the way.
I would take Allen Iverson any day over Kyrie Irving.
Unleashed as the Philadelphia 76ers are going to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years.
Next category is, was he a one of one? I'm going to say unquestionably. Seeing him in person, it was kind of, for the first time, you're like, what is this?
He had led the 76ers to the playoffs.
And welcome back to the First Union Center. The last time the 76ers were in the playoffs, they played at the Spectrum. This will be the largest crowd of well over 18,000.
Bro, look at that squad he had.
And the crowd erupts. The NBA scoring champion at 6 feet, 165 pounds.
Against the Magic, AI set a new playoff record, notching 10 steals.
A whirling dervish in a bundle of energy, but a lightning-quick bundle of energy.
What's happening? This guy's so fast.
A steal by Iverson. Hardaway lost it, and Iverson lays it in. Great steal once again. That is the 7th steal of the game.
He added 33 points for good measure.
Iverson with another steal. He's got 8 steals in this game. And I'll tell you what, there's excitement back in Philadelphia. You stop this. And 9 steals, an NBA record in a playoff game for Allen Iverson. He wanted to hear it from the crowd. He's been hearing it from his mom. Allen Iverson hits. Allen Iverson, 33 points, 10 steals,
pull up over
only 2 turnovers.
6 foot something. Player, I don't know who that
He posed for this cover of Slam magazine, which would become one of the most influential basketball magazine covers ever.
That is true.
Early in his career, that attention focused on his controversial image.
The cornrows, the do-rag, the tattoos.
You get a bad, everybody calls you like the bad boy of the NBA and the bad boy this. And you think you get a bad rap just because you got cornrows?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfair. It's unfair, but it's true. You know, it's true. I mean, people look at the way I dress, who I hang around, jewelry and everything. I mean, people try to make me 34 years old, and I'm only 24 years old. I'm growing every day. I'm trying to get better every day.
He appeared on the cover of Hoop magazine or whatever the in-arena magazine was, and they airbrushed his tattoos.
The league's official publication was trying to make Iverson everything he wasn't. famously airbrushing out his earrings, necklace, and neck tattoo for this 1999 shoot.
When Iverson cut a rap album in 2000 featuring sexually explicit material, the response inside and outside the league was so loud that the album was never released.
If you're a hardcore hip-hop fan, then this album is for you. If you don't care about hardcore gangster rap, just don't buy it.
I think your basketball skills are unmatched and well.
Nah, see, this goes back. Well, hold on, Iverson. This is where the league is like, this isn't what we want to push out. Gangster rap. I didn't see what the portrayal of woman was. Assuming it's probably woman, half naked, whatever. I don't know. In bikinis, lingerie, in a hot tub with bottles of champagne. I don't know. But gangster rap ain't gonna fly in the NBA. Especially gangster rap back then.
Recognized, but a lot of controversy has been on your tats and your jewelry.
Nobody want to hear nothing about how many scholarships I give out, you know, what I do as far as charities. Don't nobody want to hear about that. That's not news when it comes to
Iverson streaking by everybody. Reverse layup. Oh, wow!
In 2001, Iverson entered his prime.
What a spectacular coast to coast.
And took over the league.
The Philadelphia 76ers at 54-23 with Iverson.
All right, so that roster there.
Here's Iverson.
I'll rewind real quick.
Reaching by everybody. Reverse layup. Oh, wow!
In 2001, Iverson
That's
entered
when
his prime.
they pretty much hit their defensive peak when they got Mutombo.
And took over the league.
The Philadelphia 76ers at 54 .
But this team was so offensively challenged. Iverson carried them to the finals. Took one game from the Lakers. But they were he took Eric Snow, Lynch, Mutombo, and Tyronn Hill to the finals. And I get the East was weaker than after Jordan left, but still, man. But that they had a really good defense anchored by Dikembe. I got a Dikembe episode on this channel if you want to check that out too. Dikembe content.
23 with Iverson.
No.
Here's Iverson over Armstrong. Iverson 2 for 2.
An assassin. He averaged over 31 points a game this season.
None of that. Ratliff blocks his shot. The loose ball is run down by Doliak. Taken away by Iverson.
Adding 6 assists and 2.5 steals a game.
Outlaw's there and a foul.
Outlaw.
Somehow he scores. Well, here we go. Iverson on the dribble against Armstrong.
It was often foul him
round 2
or get embarrassed.
There's not just a chance you're going to get scored
that amazing
on.
Round
There's
2.
a pretty good chance you could get embarrassed in the process.
Yeah.
The drive and a foul, and it counts.
Allen Iverson is going ballistic here at the gun.
3 points.
He got All-Star MVP this year
I don't
too.
know that there's ever been anybody more physically intimidating.
The greatest All-Star game ever.
When he took the floor, he was relentless.
Iverson going for 50. He got it! Allen Iverson, for the 3rd time in his career, has hit for 50 points.
And then when you combine that with the...
Hell, I don't know if they're going to mention it in this documentary, but I think he had back-to-back 60-point games as well. Later, a couple years later.
Mindset that he had to attack and attack relentlessly.
He was an evasive, creative scorer.
Pound for pound, inch for inch, Allen Iverson was the greatest scorer in NBA history.
Now he's got Stockton. He breaks his ankles.
A unique, explosive talent.
And he got it.
And the crowd rising to their feet. Blocked by Iverson. He got a piece of it.
Vaughn is glued to him. I mean, he is in his shirt. And Allen's trying to bust a move.
I know this play.
Wow, he breaks his ankles and trails it. Iverson behind his back.
Undersized, underdog.
Yes!
Back before the real stuff became popular.
In a land of giants.
Like I said, baggy pants and all.
The 6-foot-tall warrior burned his name into the hearts of fans everywhere.
Allen Iverson representing Philadelphia.
Trying to bust up Armstrong, runs it up and in.
Personified everything that Philadelphia saw itself as.
No Armstrong, he's fouled out, so Corey Alexander on Iverson. Here's Allen for the tie. Yes! And he's fouled!
The remarkable year concluded with Iverson being named the NBA MVP.
2001 NBA MVP, Allen Iverson.
In the playoffs, Iverson played like an MVP.
Danny Crawford, one of the premier officials in the game, throws it up. Crawford.
This series against the Toronto Raptors still might be my favorite playoff series, from two individual players, the lone superstars in their team, leading them, displaying their full array of skills and talents, going back and forth, 50-point game, 50-point game. Bro, I think this one went game 7, I think, man. And Vince Carter missed a potential game-winning or game-tying 3, and he got hit with a lot of scrutiny because he skipped shoot-around or skipped practice or something like that to graduate from college and then fly over to the game.
And Eddie F. Rush.
Iverson with the steal.
Carrying the 76ers beyond what anyone thought the roster was capable of.
Pulls about 4 inches on him and tracks the double from Carter.
Iverson is 52 in game 5.
For Iverson, yes! That was for 3, his 6th of the game.
This was like, they weren't scoring in the 130s like they do now. This is the equivalent of like if there were 3 60-point games.
Williams, Iverson. Yes! His 8th three-pointer of the night. Iverson again.
I love those shoes, man. My favorite AI shoes.
Allen for the record. Yes! 52 points for Iverson, a record for a 76er in a playoff game. He is the man!
The buzzer, no good, and the Sixers hold on and advance to the conference finals.
I was hoping they were going to show Vince Carter's 50-point game, too.
The monster series catapulted the 76ers into the conference finals.
Allen Iverson, that's why he's the MVP. Continues to shoot the ball well.
The 76ers faced another Game 7.
Right? Ray Allen and them boys.
Oh, terrific ball fake from Allen Iverson.
Sam Cassell.
Iverson puts it in. 31 for Iverson. Shot clock turned off. Final seconds, 3rd quarter. Iverson double team.
Iverson dropped 42 points.
Cracks me up. Like they do other players. They do AI. Oh, he wasn't as good as a 3-point shooter in this era. Listen, for his time, Iverson was a good enough 3-point shooter. I've seen this guy drill plenty of threes and clutch threes. And if he played in this era, you can imagine he would take and practice more threes and his percentage would go up. Come on, man. Cut that out.
Final seconds at the First Union Center. And for the first time in 18 years, the Sixers are going back to the NBA Finals.
The dynamic play of AI had somehow dragged a subpar roster into the finals.
I think either the first or second game of the NBA Finals, it was Allen Iverson's birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
That shows you how hard this man played. You got to remember, if you want to know how good Allen Iverson is, look at the team he took to the championships. That says it all.
I hate you, Gil, but
if you want to know how great he was.
For the defending NBA champion Lakers, they'll face the NBA's most valuable player, Allen Iverson, who comes off a spectacular 44-point game.
He not only took a team to the finals, it was maybe the worst team ever to go to the finals.
He drives it and gets Kobe back on his heel.
Not only that, but with the worst teammates that one superstar ever took to the finals, he beat one of the greatest postseason teams of all time, the Shaq-Kobe Lakers.
Yep.
Who suffered their only postseason loss to Iverson.
Robert Horry backs to three.
Yes, I'm still mad that we didn't sweep everybody in the finals. Thanks, Iverson. Thanks.
But in the finals, Iverson ran into a dominant Lakers team.
Iverson again. For the field, Iverson for three. Yes! Allen Iverson.
A Lakers team that hadn't lost a single game in the playoffs.
Allen Iverson, 38 points, and the Sixers lead by 12.
It was a foregone conclusion that the scrappy 76ers were about to get cheek-clapped. But Iverson had other ideas.
The 76ers with the ball down by one. Yes!
And then another moment that would have been, it still is infamous, but if social media
telling me Iverson couldn't shoot threes. I remember when he launched that three right there, if I felt like Iverson couldn't shoot threes, I would have said shoot the three. I ain't worried about it. My heart sank the minute he released that ball. I knew it was going in.
He was back then when you hit the jumper on T. Lue and stepped over him.
Iverson, bothered by Lue.
It was one of the most disrespectful but legal things any of us had ever seen on a basketball court.
Steps over to Rob Lue.
7 straight points by Iverson. Looked like he was dead in the water.
The 76ers have defeated the Los Angeles Lakers in
Iverson.
Honestly, if Kobe couldn't stay in front of him or aggravate him enough, I would have just doubled him early. Because nobody else could really score in that team or a reliable scorer. I would have just doubled them. But they didn't, and they ended up winning the next 4 games anyway. So maybe it wasn't necessary, but I'm just saying.
Scored 48 points. It was the Lakers' lone defeat of the entire playoffs. Ultimately, the Lakers would win the series.
That's the way it's gone for the Lakers, who finished with a 15-1 run. The best all-time playoff winning percentage in the history of the league.
He's gotten people to look beyond his tattoos, hairstyles, and clothing styles. And he's shown how a little man can become one of the game's biggest stars.
Iverson, who averages 3 steals a game, getting his first right there.
Iverson continued to dominate.
Underrated on his defensive intensity. He pays the passing lanes better than anybody almost in the league. Allen Iverson got a score, but they're down. They're not up.
No one was able to keep him from scoring.
Allen all the way in, the contact, no call. He makes the bank shot.
And if I missed it, I missed it. You were burned for life, you know? That's what I get all game. If I missed it, I missed it.
But with little help, Iverson was seen as a one-man show.
I love that move.
Iverson starts to make this move with 6 on the clock.
But with 1.6 seconds remaining, Allen Iverson has given the Sixers a 4-point lead.
So the season ends.
And Brown criticized Iverson after for missing team practices, and Iverson responded.
We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking
Never
about
gets old.
practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. I lost.
I lost my best friend. I lost him, and I lost this year. Everything's going downhill for me as far as just that, you know, as far as my life. And then I'm dealing with this right here. I don't want to deal with this, man.
When you're becoming a cultural icon, you're making a lot of people upset. And a lot of people can't wait for you to fall down, so now they can step over you.
And now
no pun intended.
Iverson the steal. Here come the Sixers. Dancing in.
Despite the off-the-court drama, Iverson continued to thrive.
On the seesaw again, the Sixers down one. Iverson. Yes! Oh, yes!
But injuries continued to mount.
And Allen Iverson appeared to have suffered a pull.
People don't understand, first of all, how small you are.
Yeah.
And then to see the burst of sacks on your elbows or how beat up your hips are, like this couldn't move.
Allen Iverson made his return last night after missing 4 games with a bruised right shoulder.
You name me another guy with the heart he had every night. He used to wear hockey pads. You know the pads that go, you guys probably wore them too, the pads that go all the way around you. I used to see him after games, bruised, banged up.
Yeah, I failed to mention how many injuries AI played through at his size. All of the physical punishment he was taking, man. Dude was like, what, 165 pounds? Shish.
And his only thing was, yo, Wab, I gotta go hard. You know, if they watch me, this is the first night. This might be the first time anybody's ever come see me play.
He does tend to take a beating, but he hangs in there, and he plays just about every minute of every game, and among the NBA scoring leaders. And Iverson's scoring average as far as career is way up there. And I said,
saw that T-Mac graphic?
What doesn't hurt?
You saw that T-Mac graphic? I will forever put respect on Tracy McGrady's, though he's forgotten amongst many. T-Mac was that guy.
He says, hey, man, it's just that time of year.
Game 1 of the first round, the only game in town tonight, and you're going to see it on TNT.
Iverson with the steal. Iverson slowed it down, trying to draw the foul. And Allen Iverson with all 6. Philadelphia Cavs, 76ers, 86. The Hornets. Iverson with
In the playoffs, he came up in the clutch time and again.
Aaron McKee.
He set a franchise record with 55 points in a playoff game.
Allen Iverson has a game that defines itself in a very unique way. He has playground moves and he has quickness. He can go from end to end as fast as anybody in the NBA.
Players to come in, one by the name of Allen Iverson, the leading scorer in the league.
He led the league again in scoring.
4 scoring titles.
Boom, perfect timing.
Allen Iverson with 37 points.
But Allen Iverson is on top of things as always, leads the league in scoring, leads the league in steals. And the question, I guess, for the Hawks is how do you defend the indefensible?
Yes, they've not found a solution to that.
Well, Bob, as I mentioned that about
Steal by Iverson. He's led the league 3 straight years, going on 4. Iverson finding the rhythm on his shot. 4 threes, 6 assists, 2 steals, 39 points.
Making 41.
It was January the 15th last season when he put 58 on the board against Houston, his career high. Comes off to a standing ovation.
Shot clock unplugged. 104, 7 seconds to play. Iverson against Gill, the crowd on its feet. Allen for the win! Yes! Welcome back to Philadelphia. The Magic and the Philadelphia 76ers getting together for the 4th and final time this year. The Magic have won the 2 of the previous 3 meetings.
Against the Magic, Iverson put on an all-time performance.
David, you get the feeling he's going at a different speed than everybody else?
Always.
Iverson pushing the action once again and scores.
Iverson shot the lights out.
Iverson with the jumper. We are seeing something special tonight. Allen Iverson, 54 points in the game. Third time this year, 9th time in his career in regular season play. He also did it 3 times in postseason play. That makes 59 for Iverson. Now he'll go for 60. His career high 60 points for the 6-time NBA All-Star.
He's going to run through a wall. He's going to sweat on you. There's no foul. Like you can't bully him.
His all-go, no-quit style exposed him to additional wear and tear.
Oh, and Iverson is up. And off the floor, but hobbling.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Oh.
That's a tough one.
Didn't look at the coach, didn't look at the staff, just was going right back in.
Boy, is he a warrior?
Some of my greatest arguments with him, Kevin, is when he got injured. He wanted to get back in the game. He didn't care how bad he was hurt.
So you're talking about a guy who's going to come at you 1,000% all the time.
Rebound, Jamison, and he calls time.
Got time.
With 3 and 9/10 seconds to play. 3 and 9/10 seconds tied up.
One of his most iconic moments came against the Wizards.
The steal by Iverson, posting in! He won it! He won the game! He won the game!
The following season, the league instituted a dress code, which seemed directly targeted at Allen Iverson.
Players must dress in business casual attire during any team or league business, so expect to see sport jackets and slacks rather than throwback jerseys and T-shirts.
The players take their end of it, get out of the prison garb, and the the thuggery aspect of basketball that has come along with hip-hop music.
4 times he had led the league in scoring.
Tough defender, Jacques Vaughn. Iverson going one-on-one.
However, his incredible individual accolades hadn't equaled team success.
Breaks the ankles of Vaughn and knocks it down.
In a loss to Chicago on December 6th, Allen Iverson left the game in the 4th quarter with back spasms. It would be his last appearance as the Philadelphia 76ers.
Whether a player asks for a trade or I decide to make a trade.
I mean, depends how you look at it, right? Does team success mean you have to win a championship? Because he had a great playoff run, and then everything after that, okay playoff runs, but he got him to the playoffs enough. Anyway.
Trade, those things are private matters. I'm trying to do what I think is best for this organization.
After 10 years without a title, he was no longer wanted.
Traded Allen Iverson and Ivan McFarland to Denver.
I mean, if that's going to be the standard, you never won a championship, so your style of play didn't resort to team success. Well, would you say the same thing about Chris Paul? Did his style of play not contribute to team success? He never won a championship. He went to 1 finals just like AI did. And AI's run to the finals was more impressive, considering when you compare the teams. But nobody would dare say Chris Paul style of play doesn't necessarily contribute to team success. I mean, let's keep it consistent, folks.
For Andre Miller, Joe Smith, and 2 first-round picks.
It didn't feel good at all.
I never thought the day would come where I'm pretty much saying goodbye to you as a Philadelphia 76er. You are now a member of the Denver.
For the record, I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with them. I'm not saying that Iverson's style of play doesn't lead to see team success. And I believe Chris Paul's style of play, I can't talk today, I can't think. Oh man, got a major headache. Chris Paul's style of play does lead to team success, even though he never won a championship. The same thing I believe the same to be for Allen Iverson. I didn't want anybody to get it misconstrued that I was talking about it the opposite way. Like I was taking a shot at CP3. I wasn't.
Denver Nuggets.
Iverson now with it for Denver.
I remember that play. Incredible. Look away finish.
And one. Wow.
Allen's saga has been one of the season's most talked about stories.
He'd now be paired with fellow star Carmelo Anthony.
For Allen Iverson, this is the 8th consecutive year he's been an All-Star. And as he closed one chapter of his career, he opened a new one in Denver where he would try to blend his talents with Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets.
So he's on fire here at the start. He's at 3 of 4.
Hell, while AI was on the Nuggets, he dropped 50 on the Lakers. Smoked us. I remember that. Oh, I'll never forget that game. They had a really potent offense on this Denver squad, though.
Iverson, yes.
Having two ball-dominant scorers is tricky to make work. Iverson's time with the Nuggets was short-lived.
Denver had decided that they would not offer Allen an extension. Does that make the team bad? No, that's business.
First, we're going to get to the big trade that transpired this afternoon. Just huge going on, folks, between the Denver Nuggets and the Detroit Pistons. Allen Iverson's one of the game's best scorers in history is headed to Detroit.
You're sitting here today as a member of the Detroit Pistons. Your thoughts?
I have that shot now. You know, I feel like the sky's the limit.
Enter Allen Iverson, one of the game's most brilliant offensive talents. So Allen Iverson has to get used to that look. Wearing the Piston jersey. He wins the league's MVP award. All NBA first team on 3 occasions. His career scoring average of 27.7, number 1 among active players.
They cleared some space and let Allen Iverson provide the answer.
With the Pistons, Iverson provided some fantastic moments. However, injuries plagued him, and he lasted just a single season with Detroit.
Allen Iverson not playing for the 3rd straight game because of a back issue. In fact,
he had a cup of coffee in Memphis, then returned to the 76ers.
Once upon a time, this was his town. He owned it, held it in the palm of his hand. A packed house here at the Wachovia Center to greet Allen Iverson.
I think one of the games when he went back to Philly, he played against the Lakers, and him and Kobe had a old school duel.
After 25 games, he retired.
I think it was with the Sixers, though.
Allen Iverson, the answer, is finally going to officially retire.
The answer is an icon of the sport.
The man called the answer was a Rookie of the Year and made 11 All-Star teams. 11. Iverson was MVP in 2001 and finished with more than 24,000 points.
He far surpasses the numbers.
Yes, and there it is!
The easiest thing in the world is to be yourself. Everybody else taking up. Why not be you?
The cornrows, the do-rag, the tattoos.
Iverson, what a move!
A culture was not just changed, but defined by him.
I think he is one of the most beloved ex-players, and it's so funny because it was so not the case in the late 90s.
What a move by Iverson.
Taking the Philadelphia 76ers with that Rat Pack bunch to the NBA Finals against the Lakers.
Allen Iverson. The answer.
Iverson it's an incredible story. His NBA career really is a great story, even though he didn't win a championship. And sometimes it's just not in the cards for everybody. But Iverson was phenomenal, man. He's one of the best players I've ever seen. One of the best scorers I've ever seen, too. But all-around basketball player, especially during his era, man. Dude was fantastic, man. he passed the ball. Yeah, he averaged over 6 assists per game. People swear he averaged 2 assists per game. And it's not always about numbers, but I'm telling you, the guy wasn't like a stat stuffer, stat. What's the word I want to use? He wasn't seeking stats. Not many players did back then. Nowadays it's all about analytics. Now players sniff out the statistics. Not all of them, some of them. But he was never about that, man. His numbers were a product of his natural game. You'll hear me say that a lot for some players. But I was also mistaken what I said earlier. I said what I say. AI was 6'1" on a good day. No, I was wrong. 6 foot on a good day. And like the guy said, 5'11". He's like, I saw Iverson face to face. I'm 5'11". Me and him were looking eye to eye. They were probably counting that extra inch on the corner roll. But yeah. So yeah, I was mistaken by an inch there. But yeah, man. You know, I've already said a lot. I've been stopping the video with all kinds of commentary, so much interjection on my part, but hey, man, be on the lookout for more Allen Iverson coming for, I guess, the duration of this channel until I pass away, God forbid, anytime soon. But I'm going to keep putting respect on Iverson's name, no question about it, as I'm going to cover some more players that I haven't covered before. All right? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let me know if you're an Allen Iverson fan and if you have an Allen Iverson story. Be blessed. Catch you on the next one. We out, baby.